Today, before we go to the range, we're going to look at our brand new in a box Smith & Wesson 9mm Shield Plus. We're going to install the Streamlight TLR-6 red laser and flashlight combination. So we'll put that aside for the time being. And what we have here is our Smith & Wesson M&P 9 Shield Plus. It was purchased at Academy, and let's see what we get. So open that up. It looks like we have a cleaning kit from the Performance Center. We have the glow in the dark. Lock. Tell you what, we're going to put that back in there for the time being. And then we have a plastic package with our pistol in it, and then instructions manuals, warranty card. So let's see what we got here. As always, make sure that you treat every firearm as if it's loaded. As we can see, we've got our orange indicator that shows that we do not have a shell in the chamber. We're going to pull that back, lock it, and then we can see that there's no round. We'll eject the magazine. So this is our first look at this. It comes with a 10 round short magazine, and the one we pulled out is a 13 round. We've got the day glow sights, green in the front, red in the rear. We have a slide lock, and that's our takedown. The the texturing on the grip is so it's aggressive to say the least, which will give for a good grip. Serial number and the QR code is right here. And then it will fire with the magazine removed. We'll feel the trigger here for first time. Always point a gun away. Never point the gun at any object that you don't want to shoot, and never put your finger on the trigger until you're ready to fire. This is supposed to be easier to rack, and it does feel easier than my other shields. I think I have one of each of the shields that they have made so far. This one definitely has the most aggressive texturing on the grip. But the racking seems to be a little bit lighter, and the trigger appears to be much improved. It's got the, you have to have your finger on the trigger for it to be, you do not have a safety other than your finger on the trigger. It is one of the safety features. But and the over travel, it really doesn't have much over travel. See if we can do this here for you. So it's over travel is pretty nice, and the reset is pretty short also. We're going to take both of those to the range with us. When we go to the range, get rid of this. Randy Wilson had also bought a Smith & Wesson Shield. And one of the suggestions he made for that he liked on his was he had purchased a Streamlight trigger guard light and laser combination, and it's a TLR-6. It's important, if you're interested in doing this, that you get the right package because Streamlight makes multiple ones for shields to fit the individual shields, and they are model specific. So I decided, based upon his suggestion, that I would like to outfit mine the same way. So here's what the package looks like that it comes in. Figure out how to get into it here. Okay. Okay. And then what do we have here? We got a little cardboard outer. We've got a small Allen wrench, 2 batteries, and then the laser light combo package that we're going to put on. So we'll take that out. And then we have an instruction book. And the instruction book tells us basically how to install it. It looks like we've got 3 screws, insert the battery, and then sight it in. So based upon that, we're going to follow those instructions and get the Allen wrench out. We're going to go ahead and leave the batteries over here for the time being. And so let's see how this works here. So we've got 3 screws. 1 screw. 2 screws. And so you're supposed to open the battery hatch. What I like about this battery hatch, some other lasers I've seen, you actually have to take it apart to put the batteries in, which is potentially going to impact your impact point when you shoot using the laser. This one, because this hatch just opens up and apparently you drop the batteries in, you shouldn't have that problem. So now then, we have the top. I guess we'd call that the top. And so this goes on there just like that. It pretty well snaps into place and seems to be quite secure. So then we turn it back over this way. Put our 3 screws in. And okay, right now I'm just getting the screws snug, and then we will tighten them up uniformly. So we'll start up here with this one. Feels good. So now then we'll just empty the batteries out. So then you open up the hatch, which is already open since we just installed the Streamlight. Second battery in. As you can see, the plus side is up. Close the hatch. Finger on the button. So for our first push, okay, so we have a light and we have the laser. And then if we press the button and push it once, now it's when you press the activation button, you get light. If you press it again, press the other button simultaneously again, you get just the laser. And so when you turn it back on, you only get the laser. So you have the option of the laser and the light, or just the light. And so we're going to leave it on just the laser. We're going to use a hole in the garage door as our alignment point. flashlight only. And then back to the laser only. So initial observations are that the TLR-6 Streamlight, it looks like it was made for the gun. We will take it to Alpine Range in the morning, and we'll see how it shoots and how the alignment, as out of, directly out of the box. My garage is about 21 feet long, and so at 20 feet, let's just say 20 feet, it looks like it's dead on out of the box without any adjustments. If one needed to adjust it according to the instruction manual, this Allen screw here will adjust the elevation, and then this Allen screw right here will adjust windage. So we'll see tomorrow when we shoot how well it is lined up in reality. Okay, this is Smith & Wesson Shield EC13 round capacity, 9mm. Those are the first 5 rounds.
Something else I have at home is I have this little laser thing. I can put it in the gun. It helps.
Okay, this is the bottom right corner dot, 4 o'clock position. Shield EC13 with the TLC laser flashlight combination. So overall, I was pleased with the way the pistol performed. Trigger, I like it much better than the previous shields, and the laser sight was pretty much dead on. As I mentioned, we did initial round of groups there, and then after we did our fine tuning, if you're going to shoot 50 rounds in one setting, this texturing is a little bit aggressive, so I might consider getting something like a Hogue slip-on grip or something to knock down on the texturing. Pleased with the firearm, pleased with the way it functions. Went through 50 rounds of ammunition, full metal jacket, 115 grains with no malfunctions whatsoever. So we'll be taking it apart here and cleaning it here shortly. Okay, so we're looking at the Smith & Wesson Shield Plus, and we've just taken it to the range, and we're going to take it apart for its first good cleaning, and we're going to show you how to do that. So first thing, as always, we want to make sure that the firearm is safe, that we have nothing in the barrel, and then we're going to release the magazine. We're going to set it aside here so the gun is safe, and then it's fairly easy to take apart. You pull this down, which is the lever to disengage it. I guess you'd say it allows the slide to travel further past its normal detents. And then the instructions say you don't have to release the trigger, so I guess we will see. But yet I do have to pull the trigger. So when you pull that off, that's what 50 rounds of ammunition looks like, as far as it's still really pretty clean. You can see that there. And so there's your grip assembly there. You've got a spring here, and you just pull that spring out. It's got a little residue on it. And then you slide the barrel forward, slide the barrel out, and you have disassembled your Smith & Wesson Shield Plus. And that's all there is to the disassembly process. So we're going to clean this with my Corrosion X oil and cleaner that I like using, and we'll be back in a minute. So we have our 9mm rod and screw-on head for the 9mm. We're going to wipe off the excess oil and stuff off the barrel. Something I typically use with my guns, I like Techroline Sweetshooter. I have never had a gun rust since I've been using that. And then also Corrosion X is the oil I prefer. I've had guns that's been in storage for 15, 18 years, and you pull them out and there's not a spot of rust, and the oil is still nice and the viscosity is still good. So that's my oil of choice, and my thing that I typically clean my guns with, because once they've been treated with that Tetralon, they typically don't accumulate much fouling. Supposedly, if you disassemble a gun and put it in Sweetshooter, it protects the finish, the bore, prevents fouling. And all I know is it's worked for me for the past 20 or 30 years. So, matter of fact, this is a brand new can. The original can lasted me for a long, long period of time. I like using Q-tips to get in the grooves, to make sure we got anything out of the grooves. And it looks like from our initial firing, Smith & Wesson has done a nice job of cleaning up the edges. Sometimes the edges there will mar the barrel, and there is not one mark on that barrel from 50 rounds of ammunition. So I'm pleased with that. Normally I check that before I shoot a gun, just to make sure it's not scratching. And for some reason I got out of my normal routine, and I didn't do that, so shame on me. So now we're going to use some Sweetshooter to clean up the bore and wipe down the metal surfaces. And we're going to take the excess Sweetshooter and wipe down the metal surfaces. Like I said earlier, what Sweetshooter recommends is you take a vat, stainless steel vat, and you place all the gun parts in the vat, submerge them with Sweetshooter. And I do sort of a shortcut, not to say it's the right way of doing it, but what I do is I coat all the surfaces, and then I just let the residue stay on it, which in my opinion does about the same job of just soaking it in vent, because it's in contact with the liquid and stays that way. We're gonna, this is it on everything, and we are, because it's coming off. So we'll put that, just lay that right there. And then the next part that is metal, we will wipe down all the slide surfaces. But the guy that invented Sweetshooter, normally he used to go to gun shows and he would have pistols there that has been treated, handled by literally thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of customers, never retreated, and yet no rust, fingerprints virtually disappear. So, not saying it's for everybody, but I've had good luck with it protecting my firearms. And between it and Corrosion X, apparently that finger is about almost a 9mm barrel size. To go ahead and that go through there. Nope, but I bet you that'll go through there. We'll hit the metal parts here with the Sweetshooter. Striker hammer right there. Although we didn't shoot the 10-round mag, we'll go ahead and put the protectant on it. So you can't ask for a weapon to be easier to disassemble for cleaning. Although the instructions, like I said, tell you that you don't have to squeeze the trigger to get the barrel to come off. That early in my learnings with this pistol, that doesn't seem to be accurate unless I'm doing something wrong. Okay, so now we're going to just take some felt cloth here. I'm going to remove any excess. The nice thing about Sweetshooter, it doesn't have a strong odor. Corrosion X says it's the only product you'll ever need for gun care, and so far it seems to have worked for me pretty well. So my rag here is sort of semi-impregnated with Corrosion X from other guns I've cleaned and whatnot, so we use that to distribute it. Well, 50 rounds didn't get that too dirty. Okay, so we're going to drizzle a little oil on the recoil spring to the front. This goes back to the loading port. Okay, so now we're going to put a little oil in the rail grooves, just a couple of drops. And I always like to put a little oil on that right there where the brass rides before it is put into the chamber. We're going to put a drop of oil here, drop of oil here. Okay, so to reassemble, lay that like that. Go ahead and put the oil right there and slide that in there like that. The red end goes forward. Stronger than it appears. Okay, so that's nice and centered, which will enable us to put it back on fairly easy. And then we engage, where's that slot there? Okay, and we just maneuver it up like that. And then flip the decocking lever up, and we have it reassembled. No ammunition. Ooh, the trigger feels a little bit better after that cleaning and oiling. Feels good. So we'll put the 13 round mag back in it, and it is ready to go back to the range the next time, and we'll do any final adjusting if necessary. Well, our little project with the Smith & Wesson Shield Plus Streamlight laser flashlight, and then using Sweetshooter. And then now we just put on the Hogue Handall Beavertail grip sleeve that's designed specifically for the Smith & Wesson M&P 9 Shield Plus. And believe it or not, that took about 10 to 12 minutes to do that. And then while we were at it, we installed the Pearce Grip equalizer grip extension for the magazine that goes on the 10 round magazine, and then we installed also the one that goes on the 13 round magazine, which is the equalizer for the MP Shield Plus. And then of course we finished off with Corrosion X as our lubricant and protector. We followed the instructions that they said. We used Windex on this area here, both sides and inside the Hogue Grip. We heated the Hogue Grip with an air gun. Probably could do it with a hairdryer just to get it a little bit more pliable. What you want to do is you want to start it over the heel of the magazine well, and then once you get it up about 3/4 of an inch, you want to work this edge right here up over the front of the magazine well. And then you just slowly work it up. It does take a little effort. I found that by putting some pressure on this ribbed area for your finger hold, that gives you something good to push up against. What you want to do is make sure that when you're finished, it should be just above the back of the heel, and then it should be even with the magazine well. And then that gives you an extended grip and it feels pretty good to me. So I'm pretty pleased with that little improvement there. So that's what the gun looks like now. I think it just looks like that it was made, it was just a made for accessory that enhances the firearm. So hope you enjoyed that. A little patience, a little heat is all it takes. A little Windex, and then once it's in a few hours, they say it'll dry, evaporate, and you'll be good to go. Our first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 shots, for the most part, were aiming just a little bit to the left. Then I made an adjustment in windage, and I over adjusted 1, 2, 3, 4 shots. And then I made an adjustment, just a hair of an adjustment in the windage back to the left and up, because I was typically hitting low, and got that bullseye right there on the first shot. So I figured we're in pretty good shape. So then I moved to the head. Now this is at 27 yards, which is 21 feet, which I figure is going to be the range if somebody attacks me. I don't want to get them any closer than that. So basically we have 20 shots. I fired 20 shots, and we have 1, 2, 3 that we can see, 4, 1 down here, an outlier here, and the other 15 or so, 14 shots are there within that, which I'm pretty happy with. Next time I take it out, I'll bring the Allen wrench with me again, and I might tweak it just a little bit to the left. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, hit that little subscribe button, and we'll see you next time.